Welcome back, family. I enjoyed myself last night. It was a wonderful exchange of ideas. And when something's good, you want to come back for more. I just have to say, I took a trip down into the city out of the mountains. And I've been doing that more frequently. And the more I'm isolated from the masses, when I get into a crowd, which I admit I do enjoy, and I'll explain the reasons in a few seconds, but I can see the intentions on the people who pass me by, walk across, walk behind me, just within the crowd. A split second goes by. If I lock eyes with a few people, it's like boom, boom, boom. Now, I'm not going to say I can read your mind, but I can basically feel you and what you're all about on a sample level. I can't read your mind, I can't read your thoughts or tell you exactly what you're all about. But I can see the people who are full of crap, the sincere people, the people who are walking victims with their heart on their sleeve. I can see that. I can see the hustlers. I can see the women who use their body as a weapon and try to position it a certain way when you're walking by to time you to catch you looking to see if you're an easy prey to get into your pockets. It's amusing to me. It's entertainment. I always had that ability, but it's even more amplified now than ever before. And I can tell you one thing. The more I find a sense of inner peace, is the more that this ability grows. And when you get that sense of inner peace, it's something that you don't want to let go. So I dipped down into the city to take care of things, to get a little human vibration or so, which I can be in the crowd and shut it off, where I'm not feeling anybody. They're just bodies moving around me. But I had my fill. And most often when I get down around those crowds, it's not too long before I start to crave to come back into my sanctuary. Now, one of the reasons why I do have that feeling to get around people more so, on different levels, is because I was born and raised in New York City, as most of you well know. And that's what I knew growing up. I'll tell you this. At that time in my life, I truly loved it. From a young child, I loved getting around those New York City crowds. Nothing like it, especially back in those days. It's just something about it. The rush, the energy, which, let's just pick a decade. I was born in 63. Let's just take the 70s. The early 70s, before I was even 10 years old. Went from the late 60s to the early 70s. As a child, I watched the World Trade Center go up. That was something that took a few years. It's that New York City. When you look at the movie Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, That's the New York City that I knew from young and got a taste of before most people my age in Queens, New York, which is just outside of Manhattan, got a chance to taste. And that's the same, or rather not the same rush that I get, but it's a substitute. The energy of the people. And so different places I've lived, different places in the United States that I've traveled to, it's somewhat the same, but it's flavored by the culture of that particular city, whether it be Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, New York City, New Jersey, Philadelphia. There's certain commonalities wherever you go. And even though this is a different country here in West Africa, Ghana, than America, human nature still works very much the same, even though it's flavored by culture. And I can say right now that the authenticity of the human vibration has been reduced. And although I haven't traveled all over the world, when I speak to people from different parts of the world and we get on that topic, we agree. There's something different about society, no matter what culture you come from or live in. There's something different about the world right now. And there are too many people who are seeking peace and balance outside of themselves. And in doing so, they'll never really find it. And if you come to a point in your life where you realize that you're not going to find that peace externally, you're not going to find it in a drug, you're not going to find it seeking the perfect sex partner, you're not going to find it with a very fragile status, the likes and the shares and the numbers. You're not going to find it that way. Those things will give you a rush, promotion on the job, put into a bigger house or buying a bigger car, nicer car. You think that it's going to make you happy and give you peace forever, but it's not. But today, when I was commuting downtown, I always say I don't surf social media like most people do for hours and hours and hours. My every idle moment is not frightening to me where I have to go and grab my phone and look at something online. No. But earlier today, I said to myself, let me see what the weather is like on social media. You know, a day where you plan on staying inside, but you still go out. You said, let me see what it's like out here. Woo, it's cold. Let me go back inside. I'm not coming out. Well, that's pretty much the mood that I had today. Let me straighten myself up in this chair. Getting too relaxed. But is there anything as too relaxed? I earned the right to be relaxed. I earned the right to hit the cruise control button and chill when I want. But there was a post on Instagram that I'm going to drop the link in the description area below. And basically, it was a young man stating how we find peace and how our lives improve when we clean house. And I had to give him an amen, because I've experienced recently, the last few years, the same thing. And many in the comment section agreed. There were so many people overwhelmingly. I mean, they agreed, and they basically said the same thing in different words. And I said, man, this is something I have to talk about today when I get in and relax. And many who professed this realization, it wasn't that they were all old people. I think the youngest one that understood this, I'm going to explain what I mean, was I think about 37, very mature. Because most of the time we don't realize that the ultimate peace is to be by yourself. And sure, I don't mean isolated from everyone. What I mean is you have an inner circle, some a little larger than others, some a little smaller. One person said, my inner circle is a dot. There can't be too many people. But for the most part, they said their inner circles were people who are like-minded, who see life the same way. Not exactly, but pretty much 90% overlapping, because no two people are alike. And I thought about that, especially with the joyous times that I'm having now. I do have an inner circle, but you have to squint to really see that it's a circle. And I think mine is a dot. But that's cool, because the other part of it is most who made the comment at different times, because I don't think this post just came out like today. It's probably been around for a year or maybe a couple months, because there were a whole lot of comments. But they were so interchangeable because of one factor inside of all of them. Is basically the masses of those people saying, I found true peace of mind when I stopped caring. Now, we're not talking about not caring about your family, not caring about your loved ones, your inner circle, your friends, the true friends now. But you stop caring what people thought of you, what people are saying about you, how you come off to people, what people think about you. And I was like, wow, I'm already there. And I'm in agreement. And I had to make a comment on there myself. It may be so many down by the time you see it, because I will post this link, but I was in total agreement because I really don't care. To each his own. But I don't care to try to out jewelry the next person, to have more jewelry, to have the latest outfits, to try to come off like I have more than what I have. That is a hell of an existence to live, especially when these people that you're trying to impress don't give a damn about you. Ain't that something? When they hear you transition, they're going, oh, really? Now you have your loved ones who are concerned, who are going to miss you, and tears may flow. But these people, man, who can't even get their own lives together, you're worried about them and what they think about you? You see their facade. They work hard to make the facade look so good, to act as though they got it together, but they're not working on the core person. I'm not saying I know everybody and everybody's in this state, But I tell you one thing, it's at least 90% of the people out here in the world who are following behind the trends and what's popular and what's acceptable. And they're zombies. And the sad part is, most of them have no inner peace and don't even know themselves. They don't even know themselves. See, today, when I went down into Accra, before I went down, I had something that I had to do, and I had some items that I had to carry down. Right? And when I looked outside and saw the weather nice, I said, no, I'll do that on Monday. I'm going to go down for the pleasure of it all because I want to. Now, there's certain things that I sought to go and get, certain things that I need that I went to get. Actually, I went to get another phone charger. Not the cord, but the actual brick. I purchased one a few weeks ago because the old one that I had went out on me. And the other one that I bought, I thought it might be inferior, but it's very, very good. I said, let me go get another one. And it's slim too. I said, this is going to be me righteously wandering to go where I want to go, where the Spirit leads me. And many people don't have that luxury. Now, it's not like I'm rolling in a bunch of money, but I had a little extra to spend, to invest. And usually when I go down like that, it's not where I come back with bags and bags and bags. No. I got the charger. I came back with these fruit juices that have no added sugar, and they taste kind of plain, but they're so healthy for you. I forgot the brand name because these brand names out here are so new to me. It's not like the sugary juices or the sweet juices. And they have these exotic fruits. So I bought 2 of those. And I picked up some matches. I needed some matches to burn some things. And a few other items. A couple of condiments. And that was it. And I took my time and went into different shops. And I noticed how, even without knowing these different people, it wasn't everybody, that they seem so plastic. Like this is a presentation. Not because many of the women were made up with the heavy makeup, but they were so stiff, they weren't enjoying themselves. And here I am. I put on a nicer shirt than the t-shirts I usually wear, because like I say, I like to be the gray man. G-R-E-Y or G-R-A-Y, depending on how you spell it. Where I blend in with the crowd. Not to be noticed. Not to be remembered. Or they come back and say, what were the different people that walked through here in the last 2 hours? They might not remember me. That's how I like to move. Another thing I noticed is that when I saw folks in my older age group and above, and some a little younger, that they seemed to be more relaxed with who they are. They weren't as stiff. They weren't as calculating. You know, you can tell insecurities a mile away. And I'm not just poking fun at women. When I used to drive the bus, public transportation Lynx bus in Orlando, Florida, for many years, one thing I noticed about people as I drove the bus and approached a crowded bus stop. It didn't have to be crowded either. But when they knew, the passengers on that bus stop knew that the bus was coming, you saw who is who. And what do I mean by that? You see that woman who might have a little insecurity? She starts checking her makeup when the bus comes up on the stop. She might pull her shirt down and make sure it's covering her stomach because she may feel she has a little extra weight on her stomach. You might see the young man who goes to the gym. He might touch his chest and bring his arm in front and flex it a little bit because he wants to make sure his muscles are looking right. They're not going to fall off for you. You see what I mean? Insecurity comes out. It's not with everybody. You see the man who makes sure that his wallet is still in his pocket, so he touches his wallet. Now that's something I always do, because you have some slick pickpockets out here. And that's the worst thing, is to lose your wallet with your cards and your IDs and everything. Sometimes when I'm sitting on public transportation, my hand stays there. Because my wallet, I don't wear it or have it in my back pocket. I have it to my side, either left or right. And the change that I know that I'm going to use, I'll keep it in the opposite pocket so I don't have to go pull out my wallet. If I know how much the fare is to get where I'm going, I'll keep that amount in the other pocket. See what I mean? That's just the way I am. I like to be well planned ahead of time. But you notice these things about people. Touch their hair, or look at themselves, or touch their stomach, or you see where their insecurities are. And I'm not saying that insecurities are bad. We all have them, more or less. As we get older, hopefully we can get over them by doing something about it or accepting it. But so many people now don't have a sense of inner peace because they're so damn worried about what other people are thinking, who are also insecure, watching them, wondering what they're thinking. Does it ever stop? I don't care anymore. I don't care if you think my head is big, because it is big. I don't care if the Crocs I wear are not designer shoes. I have some nice shoes here. I don't want to wear those shoes right now, unless I'm going to never disrespect a function that I'm invited to. Scurv got some little outfits that he can wear that you'll say, pretty nice. I also saw a comment from a woman who said that every time she goes to the grocery store, she dresses up as though she's on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan and dressed to impress. That's cool too, if that's what you want to do for you. On a scale of 1 to 100, with each day that passes by that we live, you tell me, or you don't even have to tell me, you tell yourself. Consciously think about this. How much of the day did you enjoy, and how much of your day was about you? And this is not to be selfish, because I'm a giving, loving person. I'm concerned about those in my circle, and I will give them, look out for them, do for them, jump up in the middle of the night and go to what they need me, put on my ski mask and fly to America and take care of business and get out of there. Don't think I don't know old neighborhoods and how to get in and out. So don't mess with anybody that I love, because you don't see me. That looks like Scurv. By the time you make the phone calls you make, I'm on the plane coming back out the country. What I'm saying is that how much of your life is real? How much of your life is for you? Right? They say be loving and be giving. Yes, I'm not saying not to be. I know some very wonderful people who look after their parents, look after their children, look after their mothers, their fathers, getting older, got little ailments and stuff. Wonderful people. I love them very much. I would never say, oh, don't do for those people that you love. No. But too many of us are giving away our life force. We're giving away our energy. And we don't even realize that we are being emotionally shoplifted. Here we are in our personal shop of us. And we let anybody in on the store. And we give away our emotional energy to anybody. And we just know they're going to give it back to us. It's not a tit for tat. But I mean, I help you, you help me. Right? When I need. If you can't when I need, I'm not mad at you because you may not be able to in the same way. It may be a different way. But there are people who come to you with smiles, who come into your store symbolically, and they're ripping you off, and they're not paying. I don't mean they have to pay with money, but they're not even paying with respect. They're smiling in your face and they don't respect you. You're a cash cow or a resource cow for them. They can get what they want for free, and you wonder why you're walking around here so drained. And you don't realize it until you get away from these entities. And you don't realize it until you stop caring for these entities who come with a good word and a smile, but mean nothing good to you. It's hard to say to somebody, you need to stop caring so much. But when you stop caring for the frivolous, draining entities around you, not your inner circle now, you're going to find after a few days you're going to have a boost in mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional energy. Yes. And there's so many different ways that we can drain ourselves. It's not just that way. It's just not people taken from us. Again, we allow it. Sometimes we don't know it. As you get older, you realize how precious your energy is, how precious your time is, and you understand your mortality. Me understanding my mortality and that I won't be here forever on this plane makes me appreciate every second, every minute, every hour, week, month, and year, decade of my life. Today, I had a wonderful day. Today, I satisfied myself. Today, I did what I wanted to do. Tomorrow, I might stay in, just as much as I might decide to get up and go back out again. And I'm still getting content done. I'm still walking around full of medication from the dental work that was done. It'll be like that for a while. I'm not high or drunk or unsteady. I'm just as strong as ever. But I'm just saying that I'm free. The peace from within. The adventure of tomorrow. How is tomorrow gonna work out? Who am I gonna meet if I meet anybody who's genuine? Like they say, a closed hand cannot receive anything good. You still have to be open. It doesn't mean you have to be an open market. It doesn't mean you have to be used or a victim or just let anybody just come on in. But we're energy beings, and we have to realize that. We have to stop caring how people see us and think of us. You're trusted people now. If you're buying an outfit and you're a lady in the supermarket, in the mall or a dress shop or boutique, you're not going to get a dress in a supermarket. And you have a girlfriend with you. You say, well, listen, out of these two outfits, which one do you think is the best? Now, this person's in your corner. You trust them. You know them. You do the same for them. I'm not talking about stop caring about them. You care about their opinion. I'm talking about something within reason. right? Too many times, again, we leave our emotional and mental and spiritual doors unlocked. Not just unlocked, we leave it swinging wide open while we go on to sleep, and we don't even know who's coming in, who's rambling through our closet, who's going into our refrigerator eating food, who's going into our refrigerator and poisoning the food. We don't know. This is not about paranoia. This is about budgeting yourself to know how the energies are flowing in your life. Because there are good people out here. There are wonderful people out here. And you got to give them a chance. And then sometimes in giving them a chance, you run across a rotten fish. And it doesn't mean you're always going to confront certain people who you know are not in your corner. They all have their time. And the best thing is to know who and what they are before they depart from your life. Where they thought they departed, but you're the one who really dried up the free giveaway of you. And you're looking at them like, they ain't gonna be around another month. But you don't have to confront them. No. You know the time is coming. That's when you're really deep in on yourself and you're at peace. All good things come to an end. Doesn't mean all friendships and all connections, but most things, they change. Change is inevitable. The reality you're living now, you didn't live at one time. Think about it. And the reality that you're living now was at one time the unknown. Now, maybe your reality didn't change completely from one phase of your life to the next. Sometimes it's gradual. You see what I mean? Sometimes you're dating somebody and you get into a close relationship, and then you move into a new part of the city with the same person who you knew from before you moved into this different part of the city, whether they live with you or not. And then you break up and now you're in this new part of the city. So you acclimated yourself to living in this new place, but now that you don't have this person in your life, you got to acclimate to that. Now you've been in this place where you live for a couple of years, and now you get a new job. You see what I mean? It never happens like everything all at once. Now with me, Lancescurv, it was kind of everything all at once because we moved to a different country. Lived in a house for many, many years. And I lived in a house many years before I met her. Except for the couple little years that I lived in an apartment when I first got to Orlando. But other than that, I'm a house person. So we had to come out and live in an apartment. We're not used to that. So now we're coming into our own on a level that we're used to living. But meeting new people. There are wonderful people out here. And again, one word to the wise that I always say, that you don't really want to mix up the people that you know. Yes, I have friends that I've known for decades. And they all know each other because that's the way it happened from growing up. But as an adult, one of my safeguards is that when I really get to know somebody, I got to know them real good before I introduce other people in my circle. I keep it separate. That's a probation period. You see, because some people can get into your life and get into the people that know you and try to poison their minds against you. So I keep that separate. I keep that separate. Because you have some people who want to take over and control your life through the people you know. Oh, I went through that before. Never again. And people can be so gullible. When they know that you're rock solid, but here comes somebody with a smear campaign. Because they want to hijack your life. They want to be you. They don't like you doing what you do. Yes, I've learned. Because we're all energy. And you got to figure out what kind of energy a person has before you really let them in all the way. And of course, there are kindred spirits that click on a dime. I understand that. It's a beautiful thing. And sometimes you have counterfeit spirits that mirror you for that simple reason. Whatever it may be, think over your own life and you'll realize, I'm not saying I'm some guru, but I know after this many years on this earth, I know what I'm talking about, and you know it to be the truth also. This is time coming in on this one. It's not like I read this out of a book. I speak from experience. But at the end of the day, you have that true peace when you have yourself to yourself. Even when you're in a relationship, you have to have that connection with yourself. Too many of us lose ourselves when we get into a relationship. We pour out everything until we're empty. It should be not two people as one. It should be two people who are synergistic, who are greater than the sum of two people. You see what I mean? You should be powerful like about 25 different people. Not different, but the power of that when you're really vibing. That's the advantage. Two people working together, things get easier, but you still push like you're on your own. And then you both benefit from each person's mutual energy. And what do you call that? You call it a power couple. Even though the Hollywood power couples and the political power couples, they'll say that, but a lot of them are living just as shallow as anything else and don't last long or hide behind this facade. You drain yourself when you live a false life, concerned about other people and what they think. You ever see the police with the riot gear? They're suited up, these outfits that a knife couldn't pierce, and they have a crowd that's rioting, and they have these handheld shields in front of them, like the fiberglass thing or whatever it's made of. It's very strong material. You can see through it. It's a shield. But just think about the people that you know or the people that you see in public who have a false persona shield up in front of them. And those shields, maybe they're lightweight, I don't know, but the emotional shields of the false persona, they're definitely heavy. They're definitely heavy. And people are walking around side-eyeing each other because they're insecure about how they look or how they come off or who they are as a person. They're not confident in who they are. We don't read books anymore. We're scrolling, looking out to the world. We don't read books and learn and reason and think. You know, when you go to the restaurant, whether you're with people or by yourself, even when you're by yourself, you eat, you take a bite. Do you keep shoving food in your mouth? No, you don't. You take a bite, maybe a sip, and sit back and chew the food and digest it. And you're looking around discreetly. Then you go back and take another bite. It takes time. We have this stimuli of the phone, which if you know how to balance it out in your life, it can be a good thing. If you know how to be proactive, to know what to look for, to get more knowledge to make your life better for the things you want to do. For the most part, people are just digesting somebody else's filth, somebody else's opinion, somebody else's sense of humor. They're clogging their own minds up and they can't think sharp anymore because it's like they're possessed with many demons. Their political standpoint, the perspectives are influenced by what they see, and half of that stuff is slanted to make you think a certain way. What happened to reading a book where you get it directly inside of you? You pick and choose what you read. No blue light to keep you up at night. Read by candlelight. Even if your lights are on, burn some candles and make it bright and read by candlelight. Try that out. Oh, you have the deepest slumber, the deepest sleep. And you're reading those words and you're processing the words and you're formulating your own images in your mind. It's like a wholesome meal, but with the smartphone, it's like junk food. It's like eating cheese doodles and soda, cookies and some sugary drink. You don't have to think. You don't have to process. It's given to you, but it overloads you. And here you are waking up confused, worried about if you look good to the people around you out in the street. Of course you want to be presentable. Yes, you want to be professional and of course. But to be concerned with it where we alter our personalities, we change who we are. Like the book Sybil, the woman that had 16 personalities. You know how many of us are walking around with different personalities? I'll prove it to you. And this is not everybody. But you take a man who works a job, he has a home life, and he has friends that he's known for years, and he goes to the house to worship, and he has a couple other buddies he might do some decadent things with, and he keeps those worlds separate. Well, how about the panic on his face when he's hanging out with the dudes that he goes to the titty bar with, and he sees some church brothers and sisters walking up on him? Now he's in the line, get ready to go into this place. That might be extreme, but that's reality. Like I said, it's good to keep different factions of your life until proven separated. You can't open your doors completely until you really, really get to know people. And I know people that I can completely trust. Haven't seen them in some of them in decades. Haven't seen some. Last time, I'm not going to call names, but there's one brother. I think it was last time I saw him was 1993. This is 2025. And with him, I'm saying symbolically because I don't have a vehicle right now. But when I get a vehicle, I already have my house, and he wants to come to Ghana. He gets the keys to the house, the keys to the car. He's going to know where protection is hidden away. He's going to know a lot of things. I could leave the country and leave that brother in my house and know that everything is all right. And you know what? I know about 5 or 6 people, maybe 8, that I can do that with. I'm blessed to have that many people that I can have them in my home freely. Go anywhere, touch anything. There's nothing off limits. I'll let you know where certain things are and you'll know the deal. But I got no problem with you going there because you got to live. I can take a trip for a month away and leave one of those 8, approximately 8, in my home. Call up and say, listen, I want to stay another 2 weeks. Could you do it for me? Oh, no problem, Lance. How are you doing? Oh, man, I'm having a good time. You see what I mean? That's when you know you're blessed and your gift of discernment worked, and you have to vet people. In the past, I've been guilty of just letting them all in. Open the floodgates. No problem. You got a smile on your face? Oh, come on in. Take my energy. I'll do anything for you. Oh, you have a good word for me, about me? You said something good about, oh, come on in. The candy man can, cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Remember that song, Sammy Davis? Come on in, everybody. Gather around. The candy man is here. No more of that. No more of that. Because these people can pass you in the street like they never knew you. And you know what? I got a little bit of that in me. You do something to me like that with it, I don't know you. And I'm dead serious. It's One lady told me the other day, oh, you don't speak with these particular people? Oh, you're going to have to work that out because you're going to need each other. Listen, I don't need nobody that hates me, can't stand me, run up and down and smear my name, and I'm the wrong one? No. You think I'll take a drink of water from them? They might poison it. Their spirit is poison. You know what you're doing when you get to a certain age. Even kids, single-digit ages, can feel the spirits of people. Oh, no. I don't hate you. I don't even waste time thinking about you. You don't exist. I got too much work to do in myself. I got too much peace to enjoy. I love being home. I love being on my property. I love sitting out in nature. Tell you something. There's not a place in New York City that I don't know about. Talk about Manhattan and Times Square, Greenwich Village, all these places up in Harlem. I was a driver-holic. Friends were scared to jump in the car with me. Oh no, you ain't gonna have me out all night. I mean, I would respect them if they had to get up. But they knew. When I caught that feeling, I said, let's hang out. Let's go to the city. They loved it most of the time, but I was always the one who was the last one sleeping. Of course, I'm driving. Lots of times if I went with friends and they were driving, I ended up driving because their mouths were open. The energy, I loved it. I loved it. But now, sometimes the high point of my day could be to go deep in my yard, take that lawn chair, very strong lawn chair that we got from Sam's Club years ago. We have two of them, and they're just as durable as ever. And to lay down on it face down and to watch the ants do their job, and how they have teamwork, and how they have unity, and how there's no ego, and how as they work as a collective, they get so much done. And of course, ants are so strong pound for pound, more than human beings are. And it's not the individual strength of the ant, it's the collective. And this is why I like to speak more on a human nature level, on an ascension level. Because like I said last night, to sit here, oh, black people, we gotta wake up. No. If at this point you can't get it, let's try to ascend for ourselves and enjoy the rest of our lives. Yeah, we're gonna stand behind certain causes. We're gonna speak the truth. I'm not ever stopping that. But as a collective, for all those who don't want to move towards something and want to fuss and argue and peep and gossip and speculate and no, I have no time for that. Oh yeah, there are things in this world that piss me off, but it's not going to piss me off to the point where I can't have peace of mind from within. That's what I'm into now. I want a free flow on peace and centeredness and God-centeredness. Yeah, I can tell a dirty joke with the best of them, and I will be doing that in the future. When I want to do a little comedy, I might feel like doing it, I'm going to do it. I'm not rigid, I'm free-flowing. But there's so much I've learned recently that I can't unlearn and I don't want to unlearn. That's been very much instrumental into me seeing the world different. When I talk like this again, I don't try to think I'm the guru. I'm not the one who's putting myself up as some, especially with these guys online, a lot of them, and there's a lot that I know, there's a lot that I have experienced firsthand. These folks who put themselves up like that, and how jacked up their lives are, with no peace at all, burning bridge after bridge after bridge. It's sad. If you knew what I knew. certain things are not for me to say. Because, you see, when we call out people in our lives, it could be giving the person who's done you wrong or smeared you a break. Why do I say that? Because you need to just be quiet. Now, granted, if a person's raping babies or raping somebody or did some harm, yeah, deal with it. Open your mouth and deal with it. Get the authorities involved or call them out, do whatever. But when they do this sly, sneaky stuff and you know they did it, learn from it and let karma take care of it. It may take a little while, but the weight of karma is on them who have done you wrong. When you go around and try to do karma's job, karma say, hey, I ain't got to do that much. He's doing it already. It's not going to be as stinging as when karma comes and knocks on that person or those people's doors. And like I've said before, me and karma are cool because I'm not going to do anything for karma to come and visit me. I can take karma to lunch. Karma's cool with me. But I do know if I do something wrong towards somebody, karma's going to come and get me too. So I keep my record with karma good by not trying to take over their job or do something that's going to bring it back on me. Because people will suffer from the things that they do to you. Give it time. I don't have time to sit around and wait for somebody's suffering. It's going to happen. Doesn't happen now. It might be old age for the person. It might be this or that. They're going to think about you. That's all I need to know. But yes, this was a wonderful day. The peace and quiet in the thoughts. Things I can think about. Again, I don't live in the past, but I refer to it because they're valuable lessons that I've attained from it. Some of the old songs, situations. It's funny though, because my memories, please, in the chat room or the comment section or whatever, just, are your memories clear? My memories are clear. I can close my eyes and be right back in whatever time period that I was in. I mean, down to the wallpaper on a friend's room from 50 years ago. Down to the jokes that we shared, down to the things that have happened. So many things. It's wonderful. It really is. And it's fascinating to me. I mean, it really is. But from this day, there's just so much to digest and review and look over. There's nothing I did off. I just enjoyed it. I intend to enjoy tomorrow because tomorrow's not promised. Like I said before, we worry. I'm not going to even say concern. So much of us are worrying about the future. But the future's coming, baby. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. And I've said it before again. The future, in many aspects, is unknown, but it will go a certain way that you can look back on it and say, this time period went this way. Whatever time period you're listening to this, take the point or the time that you're listening from it now and take it 5 years from then. Now, 5 years from now, we don't know what's happening in the world, as crazy as the world is going. But let 5 years go by and you still be alive. You'll be able to tell everything, if you want, in detail. Not that you're going to go through, but you'll know pretty much what happened in the prior 5 years. It will be known. Right now, it's not known. So why worry? Make your best decisions as each day passes by according to the data that you receive. Sometimes we can have misjudgments, but don't freak out. Make your best decisions. But you have to have a clear mind and you You have to have peace of mind. And then you can see all the factors. And then you can see a little bit beyond what most people think or see. Like I said before, it's not for everybody to move to Africa and different countries in Africa. But I started looking and thinking, what's not a target? Nuclear war happens, the whole country's going to get cooked eventually. But give me just a little more time. Give me just a little more time. Our love will surely grow. Let me strategically move myself to a place. And I feel good about that decision. So right now, while many are panicking and fear and, oh, we have to go and we have to, the move was already made. I'm not comparing myself to anybody because I derive lots of advice from some very knowledgeable people who help me. It's not just me. But it's funny. I've said this before. When I was in New York, before I moved to Orlando, Florida was a new place. And it was like, I don't know too many people there. And like I said to people who asked me, aren't you scared to move to a new place? I said, no, there are people living down there. There's food down there. There's nightclubs, there's apartments and houses and neighborhoods and cars, and people are getting along just fine. I got friends down there that I haven't met yet. You see what I mean? And a few haters down there I haven't met either, but I don't focus on that. Same mentality coming here. And it's a bigger leap. All the way across the Atlantic Ocean. On the equator. 0 latitude and 0 longitude. It can be looked at where the people are so foreign, it's so far away. What about the commonality? And New York now, I know it well, but it's distant to me. Orlando, Florida is distant to me. This is my reality. But it's based on the peace that I have on the inside. And can it enhance that peace? To change your physical location. Look, I can sell you boatloads of peace right now. I'm so saturated in it right now. And I said to myself, as I am taking this mandatory medication for the dental work I'm doing over the next few weeks, I said, I'm going to free flow. I'm going to sleep till I wake up. I'm going to go to bed when I want, which is usually early, but these days I've been staying up a little later. But I'm going to free flow. I'm going to eat when I want, not too late, but I'm not going to stuff myself. So I've taken myself through different gears that I haven't taken myself through before on such a different level. You see what I mean? Because everything now for me is just so, how can I say it? It's facing inward, not selfish, but really having a chance to listen to the signs of my body, what it tells me, how I feel, my mental, and I'm really getting to know myself more. Because modern society will take you away from yourself to the point where you don't know who you are. You understand? And we wear many hats, which are noble. If you're a parent, if you're a spouse, an employee, well, those things, that's modern life. That's your responsibilities. But these things, in our pursuit of certain types of success, which are paper thin, at the end result, they help us to lose the connection with ourselves because we sacrifice. For what? Well, you know, my buddy got this new car. I got to get the one the next year, and that's newer. Why? Now you're not in the moment. You got to ask yourself, as time goes by in your day, am I living in the moment? Where is my mind? You know how many people are locked in on the internet and they're sending friends links, but did not live in the life? Use the technology. Show your face, say hi, talk to a person. You sitting there throwing links at people like in spring training when the baseball player is in the batting cage and you have that machine that shoots out balls for them to hit, but different types. Curve ball, knuckleball, right? All the different types. Fastball. Well, they have a reason for that. But what's your reason? Just throwing every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, different platforms. Just, that's what you've become? It's like a spinning tire in the mud or in the ice. And you putting the pedal to the metal. Tires spinning, going fast, and you're going nowhere. If you put a little gas on it, make it go forward, put it in reverse, make it go back, let it stay grounded and don't spin, rock it back and forth, and eventually you're out of that rut. So many of us are caught up already, and we're literally dead. Literally dead. It's like holding up a corpse, well dressed, in a dance hall and dancing with the corpse. The feet of the corpse are just dragging, and you're sitting here dancing and acting like everything's all right. The funny part is that so many people that we know are corpses already, and they don't know it. Everything just goes through them. They don't put any thought to it into their life. What can I do to make things better? What can I do to make things better for the other people who are in my team, on my team, and in my circle, who I know are the true blue people? How can we all get together and move synergistically? Which makes it easier for each component, each person. You don't have to have a huge entourage around you. I'm getting more done now on so many different levels. But I had all of these calls coming in, and this one said that one, and oh God, 8-hour shows, and oh, if we're rolling live, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna cut it short. But I have to look out for myself too. I have to look out for myself, and you have to look out for yourself. At the end of the day, I saw, and I'm gonna wrap it down soon, but I saw a posting on, I think it was YouTube. You know, it's a man who cremates people, of course, after they transition. And he showed the bag that the remains were in. Like, you scoop it up, you scrape it up, and you put it in. And you have to go through it before you do that. And the things that you find in the human body. Fragments of metal, or if they had a metal plate put in their knee, or they swallowed something that never came out. There were seashells inside this person's body. And different metal fragments. And he cleared those out. And when I looked at the comment section, it was interesting. But it was something how people realized that after all the things you desire on this earth, or the people you hate, the people you were rude to, or all the indulgences and lust, or greed, or the status that you thought you had, you can be a trillionaire. If you get cremated, it all comes down to dust, going back to dust. I don't know how that scripture goes, but the one that says, from the dust you came, and to the dust you'll return. And for many people, all the hell they raised in this lifetime, just to go back to dust, and go back to the elements. Isn't that something? Life is cyclical. We think too much of ourselves sometimes. And when we do, it definitely keeps us from finding peace. Because when you think so much of yourself, and to realize it on the hierarchy of our existence, yes, we are made to be great beings, we're blessed and highly favored and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, your physical, your presence in this world, unless you did something for other people that are worthy of it, not to be used and not to be a fool by the 90% of the people who are fake, but to leave something behind positive that lets the world know that you were here, even if it was a tiny ripple effect. Even if it was something so tiny, where the world doesn't really know it, but it made an effect somewhere which compounds other places. Your name might not be on it. You might start an energy so positive and so strong, and presently we all know who it is, but as time goes by, generations come, they don't even know who did it or started it. It was used as a tool righteously. So stop clamoring for all of this stuff that doesn't bring you any peace of mind, or inner peace and centeredness, and to know yourself. And that's the other question before I go. Do you know yourself? How many times have we always said to friends, I'm making fun now, girl, I'd never do that. I'm not saying that as a man, I'm saying that as a sister. But a couple months go by and you find yourself doing the very thing you said you wouldn't do. I'm not saying it's something, get your mind out the gutter. Maybe something along those lines, but it may be something that you said you'll never eat, but starvation made you eat it. It might be something to knock you down a few notches, to bring you back down to earth, to deflate that balloon that contained all these egocentric thoughts that you were too good to do something. And again, like I always say, when I worked with the incarcerated, and there was a sting in Orlando, Florida, a prostitution sting. So we had all of these prostitutes coming in, mostly to the woman's side, and a few on the man's side who were out there doing what women do to men under tons of makeup and wigs and stuff, and some of those men preferred that. It's a crazy world. And then we had the guys who were soliciting. They would call us ahead of time and let us know that there was going to be a sting, and to prepare extra space for the additional inmates that are coming in. And so there were 2-man cells, some 4-man cells, 8-man cells, but for the most part they were 2-man cells that can take an extra inmate, even though it was a bunk, lower and upper bunk, 2 beds. But we had to have one sleep on the floor, and I told this story before. So there was an older man coming into this one cell. They assigned him to come into this one cell. And I asked the guys who were already there, I said, listen, he's an older gentleman, would any of you mind giving him your bunk if he wants it? And the brothers were like, oh, yeah, no problem with letting Pops come in and sleep where he wants. He was scared that if he chose a bunk and one had to leave the bunk that they had, that they might do something to him at night. And I assured him that that wouldn't happen. Brought him in and they told him themselves, bruh, you can take the top or the low. We'll sleep on the floor for you, man. Like our Pops. But he insisted. He was like, I'm sleeping on the floor. So I pulled him to the side. I said, man, they told you, and I know these guys. I know how they move. He's like, no, I'm going to sleep on the floor. Because there's a little mat that's so wide and so tall. And the bunk, you can roll off and fall in the concrete or whatever. I said, is that what it is also? He said, no. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to have my best sleep on the floor because I can stretch out. And I don't have to be afraid about falling off the bunk, whether it's the top bunk or the bunk above the ground. And you can still fall off on that and bust your mouth wide open. Oh, so you want to sleep on the floor because of that? He says, sure. I can stretch my legs out. I can get into any position I want. And the number one thing is, I could never fall off of the floor. And you know how I think. I'm always thinking philosophical. I'm like, whoa, that's deep. He says, what you mean it's deep? And I'm just telling you, man, I'm not going to, that's the biggest fear, is to roll off the bed. He says, I've been in my bed at home and fall off and boom, and knock a tooth out. I said, I'm taking that to a different level. And he asked me a few days later, what do you mean by that? What did you mean on a deeper level? I said, well, listen, I took it this way. As long as you're humble, as long as you're balanced and your ego's in check and you're grounded, you can't really ever fall. I mean, we all can lose a job or go through a breakup that we didn't want to have happen or whatever, but the bottom line in this world, when you're grounded and you don't think too much, I don't mean have low self-esteem. Look, I think highly of myself. I'm confident in my abilities, but I'm not stuck on myself. I'm not a narcissist where I have to control everybody, be the greatest one there. And no, I'm humble. I'm not going to fall, but so far because I'm already on the ground level. I'm grounded in myself. I'm humble. I don't get upset when people do great things around me. It shows me the way to find a way to do great things in my life for me, but not on a competitive level. I derive inspiration. Like my father taught me, the flip side of motivation is envy. If you're not motivated by what is going on around you in your life, when people do different things, you're outwardly or dormantly envious. Because it's not jump-starting you to say, what can I do in my life? Not copying. Doesn't mean you have to copy them. They may be into something completely different, but they're motivating and utilizing the energy and time of that day to move closer to a goal. So I'm always motivated. I derive motivation. If I don't, there's something wrong with me, and I don't want to be that way. It's always a positive. Always a positive for your life. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this down. I'll prepare this so we can vibe. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And hit the comment section. Let me know what's on your mind, what aspects of what I said may have affected you or not. If you want to add something in of your own. I will be back tomorrow, and we'll get into it, as I promised we will, every single day. I truly appreciate you and how you vibe with me, and I vibe with you. And we're going to move forward in this journey and make ourselves better. But the true goal is to be in peace with yourself and to have true peace of mind. Much love to you all. Lancescurv out. Peace.